Welcome back to the Fashionably Late Pod. I'm Matt Dillon, your host. The Fashionably Late Pod, as you know by now, is not just the concept of arriving to an event late or arriving too early. It is about looking at life moments, pivotal arcs and changes, the good, the bad, and the ugly, that can really formulate and deliver a new moment and a new movement in your life. My guest today is somebody that I've admired from far and over the recent years have started to work with. John James Muller, the CEO, founder of John James PR. I think he's literally like the man about town. Thank you for joining me.
Oh my goodness, Matt. Thank you for having me.
I'm excited to really delve deep because when I think of fashionably late moments that the universe throws to people and the reinvigoration of life moments and careers, let's start with the fact that you are like Florida through and through. Born and bred, very rare.
Born and raised here. I went to college here as well. I went to FIU, and right after that, I booked a one-way ticket to New York, and that's where.
Okay, so let's set the scene up in New York because you're the PR king right now, but it started in a different format and a different. I guess it was a passion. It was something as a child that you were, I think, creatively.
Definitely a lot of creative juices, I think, always spun in me and my family. I was always really great at talking to people. College wasn't the easiest. I wasn't a math or science type of person, but English and writing and communications, I was like, okay, this is what I'm doing.
The key pillars.
Yeah, right? If you could talk to anyone, I feel like that's half the battle.
Life lessons, right? Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I always had this interest, like my entire life. I wanted to be a hairstylist.
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I was reading your bio, I was like, it makes sense. I could see that.
Everyone says that. They could see me behind the chair.
I really can, but I was like, it'd be a waste of like your front of house potential. But take me through that, because not only did you just book that one-way ticket, you walked into like a major salon and just had the cojones to say, hey, pick me.
Totally. So, I mean, an unconventional career from the start, for sure. So during college, I worked at a hair salon. I was like, I want to do this. And my mom always said, you can be a hairstylist, go do it, but you're going to finish college first. I paid for it. You're going, right? And
fair.
And bless her, honestly, I always feel really grateful, and I always come back to that moment. So I finished college. I studied communications with an area of concentration in PR. Okay. And I booked a one-way ticket to New York. I knew I had to be in New York. Like, that's the city, right? The city that never sleeps, that you could do anything in.
Yeah.
And so I was working at a salon here, so I knew I could get a job, relatively easy. Mm-hmm. I couldn't move to New York and intern and like all of these things and loopholes that you had to go through before that, I couldn't afford. I needed a job to live in New York. So
she's expensive.
She is
even
expensive.
Back then.
Yeah, even back then.
Not that we're aging you, darling.
Right. I'm not a dinosaur yet.
I might be. I might have done it a few years prior to you with Kelly Catrone.
Yeah,
I interned for her.
The real queen. Honey. The real
queen. We can
queen.
share queendom.
Yeah, no? People's Revolution.
Yeah.
A great one. And so I walked into a salon on Madison Avenue. I looked this salon up. It was fantastic, and I convinced the owner to hire me, and she had just opened a second location 10 blocks south on Madison Avenue.
Okay.
And she sent me down there, and she's like, you said you could run the salon? I was like, I'll do anything. I'll be behind the chair. I'll, answer phones, like anything to just like get acclimated with the city. And I did, and I, alongside one other person, we were running this salon with like 40 people working there. Wow. $500 haircuts, like all the fanciness of Madison Avenue, and a great clientele.
And the personality of Madison Avenue.
A lot of
If you're paying $500 for a haircut, you got.
It comes with a lot of Birkins, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I was young. I was like, what are these bags? Everyone had them. They were great.
It's so incredible to think. What year was this?
This was 2010.
Yeah, this is, I think, for me personally, like, kind of like the iconic era of New York. Like an era that I think it's had inceptions and re-pushes and re-movements, but I feel like that particular time frame is something that can't be captured in a bottle.
It can't. It was before social media. Like, it was just us going out, having a great time. Nothing was recorded, thank goodness.
I agree.
And just, you know, a really, really timeless moment.
I feel like that was the time of Splash, if you know what that is.
There was a lot of Splash
There we
nights, yes.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
That is so funny.
For sure.
So I want to really keep us there in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
But look at the way that you started to, your mind thinks a little different, I believe. And I think that's why initially I was so like drawn to you, because I was like, oh, I've never met somebody that really kind of just thinks it and acts on something. And the way you started to kind of lay a foundation for what is now, even back then with writing and people that you know had come into the salon and do stories on you.
Yeah.
Which I know there was a girlfriend of mine that was sitting in that chair that came in.
Yes, Kelly Benson.
We love you, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. Yeah, she was here on the podcast. I pitched her to write a story on one of the salons, and she came in, got a blowout, wrote the story for a magazine called Zinc back in the day.
Old school.
And so I loved seeing her on here because I was like, wait, I had a moment with
Yeah,
her.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I like even more that you understood the value in the connective of community.
For sure.
And back then, I feel like print was God.
Yeah, I was reaching out to beauty publications, beauty writers, editors,
Glamour,
inviting
Vogue,
them in.
out, like
Yeah, Marie Claire, Glamour, all of those, and just, you know, inviting them in. So I kind of had always a little bit of a foot in PR because I studied it, so I wanted to integrate it into what I was doing. And then eventually I went on my own very young and started freelancing. I developed a clientele. After working with these great colorists and stylists, I just was like, sure, I could do this.
Yeah.
Let's go. And I had a few celebrity clients that I did, you know, their hair all the time. And
I didn't know. And now I was like, now that I know what you do.
Yeah.
No,
I retired. I retired
Come
the
on.
shooters. Now I'm just in front of my computer
Okay.
or running the door
Being
at an
fabulous.
event.
That's so crazy to think of back then, that you almost were fearless in your approach to life.
Grab the bull by the horns,
Where
right?
does that come from? Where does that fearless come from?
I honestly think both of my parents. Like, my dad was a set director in film down here in Miami in the 90s. So every movie and commercial and music video that was filmed down here in the 90s and early 2000s, he was behind. And so
you had a front row experience to
Oh,
that
yeah.
kind of life?
Yeah, he'd bring me on set, introduce me to celebrities, like always tell me they're just people too, like, you know, talk to them, let them know what you're doing. So I really, you know, I was like, okay, I have to live in New York. I have to see what that's like for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, this podcast could be called Right on Time because I showed up right on time.
I mean, honestly, I do feel like you kind of, were you always this like present in yourself and able to be like, because I would say you're pretty confident and together, and that comes from like a work ethic that I believe that you have and an approach to life that you have. But was there ever a moment like ballsy to go for, because I did the same. You came from Florida, I came from Australia to New York.
Mm-hmm.
And I was balls to the wall, terrified, but still like, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right.
Was there ever a moment that you questioned, can I do this?
100%.
Okay. I just want to make sure you're real, honey. I want to make sure you're not like...
The imposter syndrome was so present because, you know, I had one foot in potentially in PR, and then I was kind of trying to become this stylist and did, but I
think
always...
but you did.
I did.
So it wasn't
but,
trying. You actually did use what you set out. You did.
Right. But like so many, you know, people think that they have to have one trajectory, choose one career path. And I was like, well, I'm not sure, right? I was 20 years old. I was like, I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know what I like. Was I confident on the outside? For sure. I could do anything, right?
Okay.
I was like, you give it to me, I got you. But of course, it was a lot of figuring it out. You know, I'm not a fan of the phrase fake it till you make it, because I think you have to be real and you have to like
Nicely said.
let people know what you don't know and what you can figure out. But, you know, I think that life is all about common sense. Relationships, common sense, you're good.
I want to pinpoint on the fact that you said you don't like the fake it till you make it. Because do you come at it from a perspective of living in the moment and actually making those mistakes allows you to propel forward? So pretending you know it all will eventually, I think, bring you down.
100%.
Slow and steady, I think, always wins a race.
Yeah, and figuring things out and being honest if you can't, right?
Always, if you're not honest, there's the door. For me personally, I'm like, we're not doing that.
To this day, I call my friends that work in similar fields or talk to my clients directly, and I'm like, let's figure this out together. What should we do? What can we do? What are the next steps?
I think that's good advice for life.
Yeah,
to
right?
be able to be, you find that balance of like, because you come from a place of wanting to elevate and from a kindness space rather than being like, well, I'm going to give you the blunt truth. It's more like you're not looking to bring somebody down. You bring it up. And so the learning space and the understanding there really is, I think that's a wonderful trait of yours to come at that.
Honesty is the key.
It is.
To everything.
So I want to go a little deeper and take you probably back to a point that you don't talk about a lot or think, because it did strike me as like your universal moment of like, maybe we're just going to halt you right now. So in 2012, I believe you had a collision.
Yeah, it was a very pivotal moment. So I was, working a lot. I had great clients. I was booking photo shoots, and I had a photo shoot for Vogue that I was so excited about. I was assisting a really great stylist for the shoot, and I got into a car accident in New York.
And so bad that you thought you would...
I could not, they said they don't know if I could run again because I was a runner. I still am, thank goodness. And I was like, what does this mean? I had to go into a cast. I couldn't walk.
You're like, I have to be at Vogue. What's going on here?
I was like, no, I'm good. Put the shoe on. And they're like, no, sir.
Wow.
You're going to be in bed for a bit. And that really threw me off, right? When you think you're...
Did that take you to a core moment of like, this is... Like you're doing so much that this, like, literally, that's fashionably late. I always say the universe would hit you with something.
It was a hard stop, yes.
But that stop turned it. So let's go through that stop process and how mentally you were able to pick up and maybe take us into this next era.
So I was like, what do I do now, right? I came to Florida from New York to recover a bit because obviously getting around in New York with a cast on your leg is not a joy.
No.
And so I was down here and a publicist, I was recovering. I recovered for a few months and doing physical therapy, all the things you have to do when you go through that. This was a
real accident, guys. Like,
oh yeah.
Changed your whole, like, trajectory.
Yeah. And my phone rang, and it was a publicist on the phone, and a friend had recommended me for this role, and she was like, we're preparing for the New York Fashion Week show for Custo Barcelona.
Love.
Yeah, Custo, very colorful, vibrant, iconic. Full of texture.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I think, based on what I've heard, I think you would be great for the role. And she explained it to me. She was like, you have to send invitations. You have to get all the media there. You have to get in contact with everyone. I didn't know the first thing about, putting on a fashion show or getting 600 people in a room. And I was like, absolutely, I got this. I booked the first flight back to New York. Wow. Met them in Soho. Custo had his flagship in Soho, and our office was down there. And just hit the ground running. She introduced me to someone who would do the project with me, and we just together were like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's get everyone here. We stuffed, the invitations into envelopes because back then.
No, that's old school.
Mm-hmm, we physically
iconic old school.
Couriered all the invites to the magazine offices, and you invite every editor at the publications. You call the publications and ask them, hi, who are you sending? Hi, Vogue, WWD, who are you sending to the show?
I can't.
And
this is giving me flashbacks of sending to the market editors and the shop. Oh, yeah. Good old days.
Yeah, we still, do it in a different format, of course, but it was definitely a great time to catch the market before it shifted.
Agreed.
Before social media. Blogs were just starting.
I remember, my gosh, if you could take it all the way back, I remember like working way before Purse Blog and then Moti and Kari, like when they were like nobody.
Yep.
And now I'm like looking at all these people that you probably in
Yeah.
those circles too. And I was like, because I used to do the PR for Project Runway, like the
Okay.
finales.
Right.
And it was the physical invites, and it was this. So gives me tingles to think back to those days.
For sure. We're not aging ourselves at all, though.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I'm 42 and fabulous. Whatever.
I love
don't
it.
care.
I
I
love
am
it.
what
And
I
you look
am, and
great.
I've lived a multitudes of lives. And I feel like when you sent me the background on you, I was like, because who you are now is so like like what is out there is together. And I was like, I really want to peel it back. And
Yeah,
you're like,
it
I
was-
sent you a lot. I was like, no, it's more. More is more in my
I wrote
opinion.
you. I was like, I sent you a novel.
No, it was great though, because I knew for somebody to do, and I know it's not seamless doing what you do. I know there's like fluctuations and craziness and so forth to put on a show that lasts for 3-4 minutes. There's so much to it.
Yeah.
But you make it look like you could like, boom, done.
Thank you.
And that takes, however old we are.
Yeah. Right.
That takes
Yeah, a lot
that
of
amount
experience.
of time. And there's bigger moments to think that you are mentally able to, because a lot of people could have had that accident and thought, well, there goes my dream. Like
Right.
it's done. But
Right.
the universe
I for
had somebody
sure
call
thought
you and kind of restarted your ignition and moved into a different chapter.
Yeah.
But then, wait, you created a syllabus and became like,
So
because that just,
yeah.
I was like, okay now, kid.
Well, at this agency then where I worked representing Cousteau for a bit,
Yeah.
a client walks in and they pitched their project, and it was Kids Fashion Week, founded by two incredible co-founders, and my director at the time was like, I'm not really interested in this. I'm going to pass. And I was like, but I think there's such an opportunity here. Like
Vision.
we can go X, Y, and Z directions. Like there's so much to do here. And she was like, John, if you feel very passionate about it, maybe you should take it on yourself. And so I got her blessing. I reached out to the duo that came in to present their project and got them to believe in me. I was like, just 23, 24 years old. I was like,
so insane.
let's chat. And they were like, send us a proposal. I had to figure out how to make a proposal. And
None of this is easy, guys. Just saying.
yeah,
When you're dealing with people wanting to, we need the checks. It's tricky.
right.
So it's like, but you kind of are like sink or swim. Like I'm going.
I was like, let's go. We can figure this out together. I believe in your project, which is, I think, the most influential, important thing with working in PR is really believing in the client. And that was my first learning curve in saying, like, I think we could do something here. So I ended up working in children's wear. And
very
putting
successfully,
on-
like you booked.
Yeah, we killed it.
Yeah,
we
you
killed
really,
it from the
WWD,
beginning.
major stories.
All
from
the
that
stories,
first
the
one.
New York Times, the New York Post. We like landed the coverage.
Actually, your old boss was like, "Damn, okay."
Yeah, she was like, "Okay, I see
Yeah, I
you,"
see
and
you.
she always did, and she always reassured me and,
That's
and reminded
incredible.
me of that. Yeah,
That's
great person. So, working in children's wear, I got to sit on the board of the children's wear judges for Parsons.
Mm-hmm.
So we judged the student designers for their final
crazy.
collection. I was like sitting with the designers of like Tommy Hilfiger and the professors there. And a role opened up to teach PR, and they called me and they were like, we want you to teach this PR course at Parsons School of Design for the BFA program.
Wow.
And I immediately said yes. And again, had that moment of, well, I got to figure this out.
Are we sounding like, what was that podcast? Was it Meghan Markle that said yes?
Yeah.
I was like, and I thought that was cringy, but this is not. I was just sitting here, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can cut this and put
Yes.
the Meghan Markle, yes. Yes. But I feel like that's why you're where you are, because you did have the balls to say yes to things. Because deep down you knew, I can do this.
Yeah, for sure. And
Because you're willing to open your mouth and talk.
and just do it and work really hard. You know, I think
That part.
work really hard.
Yeah, right
I
there,
think,
please.
let me, right?
Wait,
I mean,
sorry, because if you think it's a
so-
breezy thing, it ain't.
and if you think it's 9 to 5, or if you think you have a job that you need to disconnect from at the end of the day or on the weekends, then maybe it's not the job for you. You know, I think it's really about doing something. I mean, we only live one very short life,
Correct.
right? If
Yeah,
we're
in
lucky,
in retrospect, yeah, if we're lucky.
you know, if
give
we're
it-
lucky, we can have, a long, beautiful life, but it's still very short at the end of the day. And
Correct.
you have to do things that you love and care about and work with people that you believe in and
it's
believe
fleeting.
in you.
You had a moment where you couldn't maybe have lost your life if it had been a different scenario back in
Right.
2012. So it's like, if you're not following that passion,
What are you
then
doing?
you ain't doing nothing.
What are you
It's
doing?
no, it's a dead end for me to
Yeah.
hit that. And I think to fast forward to where you are today, taking all of that, your legacy and the way you approach things, and I said this to you on a call, that I really believe PR is the one area, and this business is where you can mix business with pleasure in moderation.
Sure.
Because you reference like the love and the respect, but also the collaborative of being able to be honest.
Oh, it's
So
fun.
I'm like, if I'm not in love with you as a human being, which is, most of my people are good girlfriends, whatever, then I'm not going to be any benefit to you. And I see you with Seagal and like your girls at the parties and runway shows, and you're like, Pimp Daddy. He's got us.
We're like a family.
But it's beautiful to see. And it's rare. It's very rare. It's not just check, cut, don't, model walk. It's not that at all. It's really curated, experiential, but look, you can feel the heart behind it.
There's a lot of heart in what we do. I feel like, again, if there isn't, what are you doing? We work, with our clients. We're all very honest, familiar with. We get to know them. We get to know their families. This is Shan. It's next season's collection, and they gifted it to me.
He's going to be leaving here naked. Just saying.
I'll leave it on the hanger.
I was like, leave it on the hanger, boo. I love it.
And it's a complete representation of the way we work, and just being an offset of our brands, knowing that they can call, with any question, and no idea is a dumb idea, and we always just brainstorm together, and that's how I'm teaching my team as well.
I wanted to touch on your team.
Oh, we love the team.
Your gaggle of beautiful, strong, intelligent women.
Very, very intelligent. They think a lot like I do. I hear it from our clients that when they respond or they're handling their own event, that it felt like I was in the room. And, starting off being an independent contractor, freelancer, and starting my business with my name, I was like, how far can I grow this with, it just being my name? And we're doing it. And, I'm teaching these girls girls could be guys, hopefully soon.
We're going to get some boys in there?
Everyone's welcome.
But no discrimination.
No, never.
I like a powerhouse woman, though.
Yeah. Oh, and it is the role often in PR.
I like the aesthetic of what you're building.
We need some more guys in PR. Where are they? Hardworking, wonderful, like people like yourself. I mean, your background and your career path and the way you handle all of your media moments it's so inspiring.
Thank you.
I'm always like, where's Matt today? He's on a plane, but he's also in Miami. Like, you're doing it all.
I just keep it moving. I'm like, I think my grounding came from like, I'm a big animal person. So I had my chimp life and zoo life and my dog, and that keeps people guessing. I'm like, I'm just like you. I don't really take things too seriously. I think people might think I take myself seriously.
Right.
And people might look at your exterior and think that, but to know you is to love you and to really see a deepness and centered human being. And I think that's really beautiful to see. And I think it's important for people to realize in this business that to ground yourself in, and I hate the word authentic. I really hate that word. So to ground yourself in reality, perhaps, of we're not curing cancer, we're not doing this. Lead with some kindness. I feel like you are building a atmosphere that's kind of breaking the mold and going back to a little bit of old school. Because I feel like there's a really fast-paced, there used to be that stereotype of the PR chick that had no idea what she was doing. She was just the door bitch at the door, checking names, doing things. But I think there's a lot to be said about when I deal with your team, it does feel like I'm talking through you, so I can hear a voice come through. And I think, to me, seeing that you're working with them for the next generation, because they will go on and do and be and inspire. What does that feel like to be creating an environment like that? Especially in a crazy world of fashion, because it's chaotic.
It's chaotic. It's last minute. You always have to be on. There's no disconnect, unfortunately, because anything can happen where it needs to be handled. And, I respect boundaries and time and all of that, but you really need to love the job to get that. I always say we work in PR, not the ER. We're not saving lives, but at the end of the day, it's a fast-paced working environment.
You're saving reputation sometimes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Depends on which one. In crisis media, I was like, but anything in this world. So what is kind of, all right, this is a tricky one to ask you because I'm like, there's probably been many pinnacles in your career, the PR side of things. But you can talk about it in a totality. You don't have to be like client specific.
Sure.
What's a moment where you realized, because I was looking, you delayed kind of like hard launching the business.
Yes.
For a little bit.
Yeah.
Explain that decision for me.
9 years.
I know. No, you literally, I think it was last year you just did it.
Yeah,
I was like.
Just last year.
What propelled you to do that?
Well, I guess
couldn't hold back anymore.
Confidence.
Yeah, okay.
Finally feeling like, okay, this is it.
We're not going to go out of business. You're good?
Yeah, we're good.
You are good.
We're hiring. We're bringing, a team together to show, especially our city here in Miami.
Correct.
It's exploding. It's full of fashion and lifestyle and luxury and restaurants. There's so much going on. And so, I really think that we're embracing our community. We love everyone we work with. The people that I've met upon moving back here that work in media are incredible. People are so much warmer here. They're so much full of life and just, it's really been a celebration of my career and I think the industry overall.
I think what you bring here is, because you look at like Paris or Milan or New York as a basis, and I'm like, well, fashion. I didn't, before I lived here and started to get into the people, I was like, what is here?
Oh, we've become a fashion capital.
But it has become, and I think some of the writers here, I look at certain people and I'm like, it's really beautiful to see, but it's done in such a fresh way, and it's an honest, elegant way. Because there's, every city, there's no such thing as perfection, but I really feel like even the last 2 years of Swim Week, it feels so luxurious and rich and exactly what this city is. Beautiful, sexy, and I feel like you're spearheading that alongside some other incredible creatives in this community. What does that feel like? Because you are pioneering something that kind of people really didn't think about that. And you got to pat yourself on the back and say, yes, because of your execution and your fabulous clients, that you rewrote the narrative almost.
Yeah, I think we've put Paraíso. Thank you.
I am, because you really did. Let's talk.
Oh, I think we've put Paraíso Miami Swim Week on the fashion calendar.
That's a hard door to get into, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know.
Oh. Well, New York has New York Fashion Week, Milan and Paris, like you said, but Miami, we are a city of resort wear.
Correct.
We're a resort and swim, that's what we thrive in. And so the platform really formalized to show the industry what we do, what the brands are like, how they can look on the runway and in these experiential moments. And so, we've had the coverage in every major fashion publication because, we know what we're doing.
Correct.
And this is how we want to present our city. We have great support from the city of Miami Beach and a ton of great industry professionals that have just come together to create a platform that's really special, and I'm really proud to be working alongside them.
It's beautiful to see, and I'm like, where do you see this? Where do you see this community going and growing? Because I really feel like, what's your, foresight and trend? What do you think's coming up for the city of Miami? What would you like to put your spin on?
Yeah, well, I think that we are this center of the Americas, right? I have a great client that believes in this philosophy that Miami is right. We're all between North America and South America, Latin America, and we have so many Latin brands and people, and the culture is all here. So I do think that the city is going to continue to grow in that direction and give these brands an opportunity to shine on a global level.
What does that feel like, seeing? Because in terms of legacy clients for you, and in terms of you've had clients that have been there from almost the beginning.
Oh yeah.
What does that feel like to have been on such a big journey with them?
like I'm doing something right.
That's how humble.
It's
No,
well,
for real. I mean, can we
I
talk
mean,
Seagal, for example? Because I
yeah.
feel like that journey has been beautiful to watch.
Oh.
And I've seen you at events together, and it's like
She's
you
a
have...
great friend.
Yeah.
She's an incredible visionary.
Oh,
She
she's
has,
visionary.
Seagal has created a brand where you see the start of it with watercolors, with her brush and her paints and papers, and she creates these incredible prints throughout the collections, and she is her brand. Like, you know, when you put on one of her pieces or you see them, you know exactly who made this and how much love went into that. And I feel like that's the case for everyone we work with. So like the majority of my clients, we've worked together for 5 to 10 years. That first client of Kids Fashion Week he was the co-founder of that, and he's the founder of Miami Swim Week.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
So, you know, we're going on 13 years of working together. And
that's very rare, just to put it out there, because it's like, that's what differentiates you. That legacy and being able to walk along that reinvention path. I think this is a lesson for life. How you run your life and your business is finding that joy will also always move you forward.
Yeah, you said it.
Living in the reality part of it. So finding what really makes you happy. And there's good and bad days for sure.
100%.
Nothing is ever linear and perfect, ever. But it is a joy to see you and see you out with the clients, and to, you know, it's because this world is so fast paced of like, it's like, oh, that's gone. I got a new client, you know, every week certain places pop up with new things, and it can be like, well, what happened to that person there, and what happened to this?
Right.
It says a lot about you in terms of consistency and what makes you you.
Yeah.
So
anytime I give anyone, I'm in it for the long run. If I like you, if you're in my court, I don't plan to go anywhere.
it's
You know,
nice.
I think it's a really important philosophy, and there's a lot of fake people in the world, as we know.
Really?
Everyone wants to be someone, and everyone wants to go
Name 'em.
somewhere. The list is written.
I was like, bitch, why are you looking at me? I'm too real, honey.
It's not you. You're so real and honest, and I felt that
I am.
love from like the second that I met you. First of all, we met, I think, on social media, and I was following your journey with the gym,
which has evolved, because people are like, "What, are you a zookeeper?"
I mean, I
I'm the best
absolutely
dressed
thought
zookeeper.
you were a zookeeper, and I was like,
I'm just
I
looking to
want
come
to
to
meet
swim
this
with.
person. I was like, I want to meet this person. I want to meet this chimpanzee, and just seeing how, you know, fragile and honest you were with putting that out there, and then knowing that your background is in media and you like have this whole other side to it. You know, it's like, it's out there to show people you don't need to just be one person. There is no linear path.
That's literally why I'm so drawn to you, because it was like, you can do anything, and you can do anything at any age.
100%.
Because
it's never too late to reinvent yourself.
I don't think so, unless I'm in a wheelchair, like skating like
yeah,
this.
And even so, you could probably figure out, you know, how
you
to
know
paint.
You know what? I'll remember that.
Right? 100%. Hopefully you don't have to.
I was like, no. Hopefully I'm still mobile.
You know, but you will, you know, have your network and your ecosystem to be behind you and push you. And, you know, I really feel that within the friendships and professional partnerships that I have. I'm just like, always like, hey, let's do this. I know, you know, I listen to podcasts all the time, including yours. And
well, thank you.
100%.
I do like that he listens to Stephen Bartlett's too.
Oh my God, I love Diary of a CEO.
Are you an OG? Because I was listening
I've been
to him
listening
before
to
he blew
Diary
up.
of a CEO for many years. And
Genius.
I just feel like there's no better education anyone can give themselves than to listen to other people, to podcasts, to news, to, you know, what people are doing. Absolutely, to each other. I mean, how often do you see, you know, everyone at a table, dinner table, and everyone's holding their phones because they're like, you know, not paying attention to each other? Yeah. No. When we have dinner, like, phones
rules?
are down.
Okay.
There are rules. You can take a photo of the food because, you know, the phone eats first. But then we are talking, you know, and we are having real conversation and like getting deep, because our time is short.
Correct.
Right? Let's spend it, and let's get to know each other, and let's do this, right? And have an honest conversation that we can hold on to.
Well, this is really I think we've captured everything here.
Oh my
And I'm
goodness.
really like thankful for you to come here and like give that perspective that I think even if you're not in PR, if you're like looking at what I want to do with life, take some notes here. Because I think there's a lot of good juice in there. So,
Well,
thank
thank
you for
you.
joining me,
Thanks,
love. I
Matt. It was
appreciate
great
you.
to be here.
We'll see you soon, guys. Thank you for joining us.